In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a high converting website for your business, even if you've never done it before. And I'll walk you step by step through how to turn your new business website into a sales and marketing machine. So if you've got a business and you still don't have a website that you're really proud of, then you're really going to like this video, because I'm going to go over the top things that your website needs to have. I'm going to show you how to optimize it for search engines and what kind of content works best. And I'm also going to show you what may be the coolest thing of all, which is how you can get AI to build the entire thing for you in less than 5 minutes. For now, let's dive right in with the main things that your website needs to succeed, starting with number 1, which is that simple sells. Can I tell you a secret? I can't see you nodding, but I'm going to assume you said yes. It's something that not a lot of people know outside of the marketing world, but I feel like I can trust you, so let's keep this between us. Here's the deal. The reason that most websites don't work isn't because they're not pretty, it's not because they're not fast, and it's not because they're not optimized for search, mobile, or the user experience. Though all of those are important, and I'm going to be giving you tips for all of them in just a minute. No, the reason that most websites don't actually help the business out is simply because they're confusing. They're either stuffed to the brim with everything you can think of about your business and offers and services and products, which leaves people feeling overwhelmed and wondering where to even start. I call this the kitchen sink syndrome. Or they're taking the opposite approach and giving visitors nothing but a vague statement like providing excellence in our field, or our customers are our highest priority, which leaves visitors wondering if they accidentally clicked on the wrong link. And so they click back and move on to the next one, and the sale is lost forever. It's tragic. The solution to this then is to guide your visitors straight to the gold by making your website content and navigation crystal clear and easy to follow and understand. First, by putting your main call to action, your CTA, which is the main thing you want them to do, right at the very top of the page when they first land on your website, but I'm going to talk more about that in just a minute. And next, by making sure you're keeping things as simple and organized as possible. This means keeping your navigation down to as few relevant pages as possible. Usually home, about, services, contact, and maybe a blog if you have one. And it means making sure you ain't using none of them fancy pants words, jargon, or technical lingo that only ever act as a confusing distraction to the real message that you're trying to get across. Synergy. Next, let's get a little more tactical and talk about how to structure your website for maximum impact in a way that works with both your customers and visitors and the search engines. Around a decade or so ago, the secret to website success and sales and getting more customers than you knew what to do with was all about that SEO game, which at the time was a combination of keyword stuffing and backlinks. Ah, the good old days. The backlinks came from often less than reputable places, but always did the trick. Until they didn't. And keyword stuffing got to the point of being almost unreadable to the average everyday person. Website design, website optimization, website this, website that, services, website. Unsurprisingly, the search engines caught on to this little loophole and punished the websites using this tactic by banishing them to the wasteland. Page 2. Never to be seen again. And a new strategy was born out of this that focused on both the search engines and giving visitors what they actually wanted. Now, don't get me wrong, keywords are still important, but you need to be crafty and creative and use them in the right way in order to stay on Google's good side and avoid the same fate that those early 2010 websites suffered when they were kicked off the first page and forced down to the least visited place on the entire internet, page 2. So, here's how to do it right. First, make sure that you're using the right keyword for your business by doing a little bit of keyword research ahead of time. You can do this really quickly just by visiting Google Trends and typing in your business's main keyword and then comparing it against other options. Same thing goes with Google's free keyword planner. Then, you want to make sure those keywords show up in 4 different places. First, the URL, which is the address of your website, which is easy to do just by creating a new page with your keyword in it. Then, the title of that page. Add it once more to the headings on the page, and then finally, make sure to include it in the main body copy of the page itself. Now, if this was all that was on your website, then this would be called thin content, which is just content that has little or no real value to the viewer. So the next step then is to beef it up a little bit by adding stuff to the page. I'm talking about more text, more images, some videos if you got them. I mean, stuff, just stuff. Good stuff ideally, relevant stuff, helpful stuff, but stuff nonetheless. Now, if putting all of this together sounds confusing or overwhelming, then I've got good news, as I've got a little trick up my sleeve that not a lot of people know about, where you can get a robot to do all of the heavy lifting for you. So to show you that, I want to introduce you to this video's sponsor, Hostinger, and their AI website builder. So here's how it works. First, we'll visit hostinger.com/Adam. If you scroll down, you can see that they offer two plans, Premium and Business. Now, the Business is slightly more expensive, but it does include all of their AI tools, which are going to be helpful for building a great website and doing it quickly. And it also offers e-commerce tools in case you want to sell products online. Then we'll click Claim Deal, and when the time comes to enter your payment information, make sure to enter the code ADAM on checkout, which is going to get you an exclusive 10% discount. After that, we'll say we're creating a business for ourselves, creating a new one rather than migrating over an old one. We'll choose hosting or website builder so we can let the AI create an SEO-friendly website that we can customize later. We'll use a temporary domain for now, but Hostinger does offer a free domain, so we can come back to this bit later. We'll enter our brand name. I'm going to create one for my agency accelerator program for now. Choose the kind of website we want, and then enter a quick little description in order to give the AI something to work with. And just like that, got a brand spanking new website. Of course, this is just the beginning, so we're gonna wanna customize things a bit by clicking Edit Site and then dragging and dropping a few little things here and there. Maybe I'll add an extra image here and then straighten things out. And the content is a little light here, so it could definitely use a little beefing up, so I can open the AI Writer here to build on what we've got. The AI Writer is designed to craft SEO-friendly content and blog posts, which makes it a whole lot easier in order to create content that ranks high on Google. All right, looks good. Now just a little bit more copy and pasting, shuffle a few things around here, and this part's looking pretty good. And just like that, less than a minute, we've created an entirely new website, complete with content and images and everything else you need to start generating leads and sales. And like I said, you can sign up by heading to hostinger.com/Adam and use code ADAM for 10% off your website. And with that said, next let's talk about turning those visitors into customers and clients with a primary call to action. I dropped that pretty hard. Fun fact about your website that you may not have known. Your website is kind of like a dog, in that it works and performs best when it has a very clear job to do. My dog, for example, loves to play fetch or pull my kids on a wagon, or basically anything else that I can get him to do. But the second I don't have a job for him, he kind of goes squirrely, gets bored, chews stuff, wrecks things, all kinds of doggy nonsense. Which is exactly what happens to your website, and more specifically to your customers when they visit your website and aren't really sure what's going on. I mean, they're probably not gonna wreck your place or chew on your stuff, but you never know. One thing's for sure, they ain't gonna buy, or click, or call. Now, I already talked about this briefly when I covered why you need to simplify and streamline your website, but this part's so important that it deserves a section of its very own. And that is making sure that your main call to action, also known as a CTA, the main thing you want a visitor to your website to do, is crystal clear and almost painfully obvious. So, ask yourself, what is the main thing you want people to do when they first come to your website? Do you want them to call, to fill out a form, to book an appointment, to buy something right then and there? Whatever it is, make sure it's obvious what you want them to do by putting that top, front, and center on your homepage. Then, once that's done, it's time to add the next element to your website, which is one of the most powerful ways to increase leads, customers, and sales. And that is using a simple psychological hack on your website known as priming. What if I told you that you could influence the decisions people make on your website just by the kind of images you show them? Essentially guiding them down the path that you feel is most beneficial, all the while having them feel like the decisions they're making are being made of their own free will. I know, sounds kind of sneaky, tricky, maybe even a little bit evil, but it's just basic psychology and a condition known as priming, which occurs when exposure to one idea or concept spills over and impacts your response to another related thing. But that sounds confusing, so let me give you an example and tell you a story about a study by Mandel and Johnson about how images on a website can influence buyer behavior. People in a study were taken to a car website and randomly shown one of 3 different background images. The first one was green with money on it. The second was red with flames. And the third image was the control image, which was just plain white. And what the researchers found was that when people saw the website with the green money background, well, they valued price over pretty much every other criteria. But when they saw the website that had red and flames in the background, they made their decisions based more on safety. And when the white background was shown, there was no real difference. But here's where things get really crazy. When the participants were asked if they thought that the background image influenced or impacted their decision in any way, they all said no. So they did the study again with another website, this time with furniture. The first image was blue with clouds, which influenced visitors to prioritize comfort and quality. The second image was again green with money, which made the visitors more price focused. And the third image was again the plain white background to act as a control group. And just like before, one simple picture dramatically changed the effectiveness of the website and its ability to influence customer decisions. What's even cooler though is that this is just one single psychological marketing trigger that you can use, and I've got 15 more of them to share with you in this video right here. So make sure to tap or click that now, and I'll see you in there in just a second.